Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Oh, welcome back, everyone. A lot of insight coming your way. Woo-woo alert. I'm going to say right now, this could get a little woo-woo, but you're going to hear things that are going to crystallize things in your mind, things that you might have been thinking. My question is, are you listening? Are you listening? Because the world is speaking and you're speaking back. How are you speaking back, and what are you hearing from the world? A lot of things that go on around us, and sometimes we're oblivious to them, but there's signs, signals, messages, and all of that. We're gonna start there with him. He is a healer, intuitive coach. He is a hypnotherapist, also supports people with acupuncture, lots of different modalities to walk that journey with you and change your life. He is Chris Distefano. He's back with us. How you doing, Chris?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Steve.
Yeah, good to have you back here. I have to say it because I'm always transparent. But before we went on here, we just started gabbing a little bit, and I realized that you grew up just like a couple of miles away from me. Like
Yep.
our high schools were. My high school was here. The next one on the next town, very next high school was yours.
Yeah.
We were rivals in sports. I'll just add that in.
Lacrosse, yes.
Yes. Wow. And I wasn't big into high school sports or anything like that, but there was a rivalry going on there. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess the world spoke. You know, how do we?
It always does.
How do we begin this today in terms of how you speak to the world and how the world speaks to you?
Well, I'm going to start with a business reference.
Sure.
Ray Dalio. He's plugged in. That guy uses meditation. He pays attention to the subtle. He listens to his heart, and he's able to connect to it. That's how he credits that to his success. There's the book on, I forget the exact title, The Unknown Market Wizards, or whatever it is, the people that do really well and have cool styles. Almost all of them have intuitive and meditative practices. So in terms of what I've learned, and some schools of thought will tell you, push ahead, keep trying. That's actually absolute terrible advice. Because what life will do, there are times when the wind will be at my back, when I will be supported, when I will be in the flow and doing what is authentic to me. And I will have, basically what I call help along the way. In terms of me listening, and this is because I pay attention because I learned it helps. And in terms of me listening, I will hear words. I will hear song lyrics. A lot of times will be exactly in sync with what I'm speaking with patients about, or exactly in sync with what I'm thinking or doing. And that's such a powerful affirmation from the world that I'm playing along. There are times, and I have stories about this, we all do, where I'm heading in the wrong direction and I hit obstacles. And I push through, and the obstacles just get bigger and bigger. And that's going against, and that's when I'm not paying attention, because that's using force to try to overcome everything. But there's no flow. That's resistance, and not feeling that resistance for what it is. That's a subtle distinction. So it really all is bringing myself to center, feeling, knowing, hearing, paying attention to how my body's responding. When I'm working on patients, I do muscle testing. It's an amazing way to communicate. Some patients are a lot more, it's not receptive. Some patients are a lot better at it. It depends on their level of consciousness too. It's just, I can tell it's more accurate. I use a lot of what's called reflex testing when I work on people. So that could be, I'll press on a point on your chest because maybe you have a cough and it's going to hurt like the dickens. That indicates that you are having resistance, or you're having an issue with, it could be emotionally related, it could be physical, whatever. Your consciousness is not able to connect to that area well. There's a problem, a disharmony. And I'll put my hand there and I'll press and I'll gauge how hard in the direction and everything else that I'm pressing. I need to calibrate. And then I will get a feeling. I will know press on this other point on the body, and I will literally touch there. And sometimes I feel a muscle twitch under my other hand, and I'll press, and then I'll double and triple the pressure where I'm pressing on the chest, and there's no pain because that has opened up that part of your body. Your body is giving me the confirmation. That's that particular dance. But it all is one of my favorites in this one. And I have learned that sometimes I have to pay attention to what I say because sometimes what I'm saying in dialogue are words that I need to hear. If I find that I say the same thing throughout the day to different people, that's meant for me because it's all one big system. It's like we are in, similar to a dream, consciousness creates the material. The material is a subset of consciousness. We are all characters in the dream of the mind of God, and we are co-creating all of this. And I know it sounds out there, but I am, based on tests, I'm off the charts for logical and analytical. I've run everything on this. This is incontrovertible.
If this was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and I was hearing you, I'd be like, I would have checked out. I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about over there. In my journey, I agree with you. In everything that I so far understand. And muscle testing, also known as body talk, your body doesn't lie. No. It will tell you the answer. And in my journey, where I am right now, began about 4 and change years ago. The first thing that I adopted is this phrase: all I need is within me now. You got everything you need. It's all there.
I love that.
All I needed to say it over and over again. We think we need other things in other people. You really don't. And to your point, if you have medical challenges, you're trying to figure things out, you use muscle testing. And maybe we could do an example at another time, of how that works. There's many different ways it's done. I've tried doing it on myself. Sometimes I get some results. I don't know how effective.
I can't do it on myself.
So thank you for saying that. All right. So
I can do it on you, and I can answer. I can use your body not only to ask your body about your body, but to ask your body about anything. I can ask your body about the war in Ukraine or something like that. I don't really know what I would ask, but because it's connected to the field. I've actually tested this on people. I could calibrate consciousness because at that point we're consciousness communicating with each other. So it's the level of depth we can get to, there are no limits as long as we're coming. Oh, this is a super, super important part. They say the longest journey is from the mind, from the brain to the heart. This whole thing is heart. It's being able to feel that subtle. The heart doesn't lie, but it whispers. The mind is filled with fear and lies, and it shouts. And it's being able to feel into that space.
So would it be safe to say the heart is everything? The mind is mucked up, if you will, and messes up the communication from the heart center, if you will, that's got everything, knows what you want, wants to support you, but the mind gets in the way, and the communication gets all frazzled, and then you have negative results. You don't move your life forward. You don't realize your dreams. You can't manifest. You can't hear. You can't hear what's coming to you.
Steve, you nailed it. This is what happens is, and you said the body doesn't lie, and I'm going to elaborate that slightly because you've heard it a million times. The body doesn't lie, but the body could be a total drama queen when we don't listen and starts really screaming. Like a lifetime of migraine headaches. People try to suppress it with drugs. I'll help out with acupuncture, but straight up, I'm going to be like, what's this trying to tell you? Where are you having a disharmony? Where are you away from your authentic truth? Because your body's trying to tell you something. What can we do to help? And sometimes your body's saying, hey, you can't eat this particular food.
Sure.
Other times your body's saying, hey, you're really not valuing yourself in your life. This isn't what you're here for. I'm trying to steer you onto your true path. Because the mind will make a decision from fear. And decisions made from fear will end in disaster because we're not being true to ourselves. We're doing it from avoidance. The heart, again, will whisper, it's going to pull us like a magnetic force. Are the decisions made from our authentic and true self? And that will be the wind at our back. That will be what's supported. And it feels different. And I meant to say this in the last call. Self-love, learning to love yourself is the first step.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one other, this is one of the greatest things that I can offer. Pay attention, because when bad things happen, that is our teacher. What can I learn from this? How can I improve? What is the lesson in this? Because it's not meant to hurt us. Everything comes from a place of love. It's like when a child keeps trying to walk into the street. Eventually, you might have to really yell at the kid, and the kid is going to cry. But that's coming from love. You don't want your kid to get hit by a car. And sometimes the world does that to us. And it's done from love. And if we can hold that and remember that and live in that, we drop the resistance to what is. We drop the resistance to falling into our truth and doing what's healthy. And this goes so far, because I have said this before. When I see physical illness, oh, that's the other thing. Mental illness, depression and anxiety is from the mind. That's not the heart. That's the heart is being cut out because the mind is putting up these fences and telling stories about potential catastrophic outcomes or disastrous pasts that you won't let go of. And this is shutting the heart out because the mind gets so loud.
How do you connect with the heart center? Like bypass the middleman, i.e. your mind.
Yes. So that is, if I had an easy answer that worked for everyone, and this is, again, enormous. I have things that have worked for me. My path was not easy. So I have an incredible collection of tools. I can give you general. And I can tell you this, you can have your best friend saw this guru and woke up and whatever. Everyone's got their own path. It doesn't mean it'll work for you, and it doesn't mean you're broken if it doesn't. So first off, best thing, easiest that we should all do, exercise. Get it moving. Get the body moving so you're not stuck. Breathing exercises, and there's a lot of them, but a simple thing would be box breathing, where it's 4 in, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. Do that for a few minutes.
All right, I want to jump in right there because I recently heard, and there's endless breathing techniques.
Oh, yeah.
I heard recently that you should do 4-4-8 because, and I want your feedback on this, you take in 4 seconds of breath, you hold it for 4, but you very slowly let it out for 8 seconds. And the reason is, as I understand it, or try to, you're letting go of so much with that exhale, and that's why it needs to be as long as possible. If you can't do 8, then do 6, whatever it might be. What are your thoughts there?
I love it. I prefer the exhale myself. I feel the relaxation happening in that.
Right.
If you really want something that's going to work really, really well, Wim Hof does not own it, but doing essentially look up the Wim Hof method, and you do essentially a hyperventilation type of breathing. It's in, out, in, out, in, out, until you start getting tingly. So you're changing the carbon dioxide value in the blood. You're lowering carbon dioxide. And then you take a deep breath in and then let it out completely and hold. That can trigger deep states of meditation and physiological change. And during the hold, allow the muscles in your body to relax. And the hold can become longer and longer. Back when I was really practicing it, I was pushing 4 and 5 minutes on the hold. And that's nothing to brag about. There are people that do 10 minutes, 12 minutes, even more. But I can't normally hold that long. So it's really pretty cool because it leads to very deep states. But conventionally, breathing of any kind, the big thing that I would say is go back to what I recommended, because the anxiety for me, when I had, January, I had anxiety. And for me, I was like, okay, I'm uncertain of outcomes. I'm in a place of fear with outcomes. So that's where I'm lacking trust. That's where I'm lacking faith. That's where I'm not connecting to my truth. Do I need to change something I'm doing? Or what part of my creator, the infinite and the all powerful, am I doubting in order to have this fear? What part of the outcome am I trying to control out of fear and not trusting that when I'm operating from my best place, the outcome will naturally happen? And that's a little higher level, and it involves a level of faith or trust. And there usually would have to be a little bit of work beforehand to start to build that relationship. But that is listening. That was when I had the anxiety, it was like 2 days. It was the greatest gift I got because it helped me to uncover what was still gnawing in my subconscious. And I was able to clear that through love, trust, and faith.
Would you say it was your body trying to talk to you?
Beautifully so. Yes.
It was almost like, hello, hello. I need you to take a little bit of notice here, and try maybe pilot you in a direction. But then what happened? Head got in the way. And I appreciate your transparency in sharing that. With all your modalities, things happen. Sometimes, we can have those paralyzing fears, and sometimes you don't even know where they come from. Sometimes you do know where they come from. Sometimes you want to deny where they're coming from.
Yeah, I tried to escape. I was like, oh, I'll play video games or, just whatever. Everything I tried to do to escape failed completely because I had to deal with it. And again, it comes from being able to accept this is coming from love. How is this serving me? I had incredible personal growth as a result of that anxiety because my truth, my higher self, whatever you want to call it, was like, you're ready to take this lesson. You're ready to grow. It never gives me more than I'm ready for. And I'm just going to give you one last thing. It's a beautiful thing. I was coaching this woman yesterday, and she's 90 years old, and we know each other pretty well. And she's going through a lot. She's really she's having a very hard time. And she's in the building of her elevator. I'm sorry, the elevator of her building. And there's this 5-year-old child, and he's autistic, and she doesn't really know him. And, she's seen him in passing with his mother. And she's in the elevator, and he just reaches around her and gives her a hug around her legs with so much love. And his mother says, he doesn't do that with anyone. And I said to her, I'm like, don't you understand? This is God supporting you through this child. You are loved. You are always supported, even when you can't see it. The help is always there when we're ready to receive. And in our greatest times of need, just look around. We will see it because this is perfection unfolding. We just can't see it all the time. So just paying attention to the subtle, listening with our heart, acknowledging those small things. Oh, I meant to say this on the last call. Gratitude. Staying with that gratitude just pushes up the vibration and acts like a magnet for the more beauty to come into our lives, more love. And life just keeps getting better, Steve. And once we see that it's kind of like a game we're playing and we bring that joy into it, it becomes, you see, animals learn from play because it's 1,000 times more powerful. When we bring that joy in, even when it's challenging, we grow exponentially faster and more powerfully.
Beautifully said. Want to address elevator, 90-year-old woman, 5-year-old with autism.
Dude, touched my heart.
That little boy used energy, I believe, and picked up on what she was putting out.
Yes.
And probably because of his autism, he's not worried about just acting on what you're getting. There was no fear or anything like that. I'm not afraid of this woman. She needs a hug. His heart center was receiving what she was putting out there, and he just went and gave her a hug.
And whoever directs this whole movie put him there at the right time for it.
Well, then there's that. That's another layer.
Yeah.
And certainly gratitude I have a gratitude journal. I write in it every morning. I will share in a second because this made it much easier for me. Buy one on Amazon. I got them for $25. I didn't pay that. I found one for $8. I bought a bunch of them. I give them out to friends. And it's got all the fields to fill out on a different page every day. You put the date, 3 things I'm grateful for. You fill in 3 things I am. You write in what will make today a great day. 3 fields. You want to write those in. And then there's a shadow box for the end of the day, acts of kindness for the day, and what would have made today better. There's a inspirational quote at the top. Do a search, $8, best $8 you'll ever spend, hardcover as well. And it just holds your hand through it. Yeah, you can spend $1 on a notebook. That's fine too. But the gratitude thing, yeah, I believe in it. I haven't seen major changes in my life in it yet, but I believe in it. And it's been said that when you show gratitude, the universe wants to give you more of those good things.
It's the universe reflects everyone's world is a reflection of their truth, and our worlds overlap like a Venn diagram. But I'm going to say this, and I've done gratitude. I don't do a journal right now. I live gratitude now, and
Sure.
I will say this, and I say this with every ounce of what I am. If it's not fun, find something else. So you're expecting a result. I'm saying find the joy in that moment. And the result will happen. You see, the act itself is the result.
I got you. Yeah. And it's being intentional. And if you're going to write in a gratitude journal, feel good about it. That's why I changed it up. When I write something I'm grateful for, I also write next to it how it makes me feel.
And I want you to take it one step further.
Sure.
I want you to feel it in every cell of your body when you're doing it. I want you to amplify that vibration in your being. Bring yourself there. Make that your reality, that moment. I don't care if you only write one thing, but you live it.
Feel the joy.
Be yes.
And
make it powerful.
And yeah, don't just phone it in. Just write it down and I'm late for work. Let me grab the and done.
Exactly.
Find time, even in the evening, where things have settled down. Maybe you're settling in, and now we go a layer deeper. Somebody told me this, that when you're going to write in your gratitude journal, do it before bed. Sit on the edge of the bed, put your feet on the floor, because you ground yourself, and they swear in 14 days you will start seeing a difference, and you'll sleep better and just have a more sense of you by doing it that way. Gotta try.
Yes, your last thing in consciousness before you go into subconscious, just setting it to that beautiful vibration. But I'm telling you, Steve, this is a fine glass of wine, a fine cigar. This is the experience of doing it, not just writing the words. The experience is the value.
Don't go through the motions.
This is what it is to listen.
Yeah. Thank you for the clarity on all of this. And I know it's a little woo-woo, but I'm right on your page.
No, man, I started right off with Ray Dalio. This is not woo. This is the most successful people in the financial world all play this game. If you're not playing this game, you're losing.
Yep. This is the secret. The secret to happiness, the secret to abundance, and all of that. And you support people with many different modalities. You know, we haven't even talked about, being a hypnotist. That woke my eyes up at one point, about 3.5 years ago. Best way to find you. How do we do that?
So my acupuncture website is scarsdalehealth.com, and my coaching website is Level 3 Coaching, because basically I am a coach's coach. I deal with the complex, the high level, the extremely analytical people that no one's been able to connect to, because I pay attention to the subtle. That's where they hide. That's where the resistance is. Beautifully laid traps.
Love it. Ooh. Sometimes landmines.
Always.
Level 3 is spelled out, correct?
It is yes, level3coaching.org. Did I say .com? .org.
No, you didn't. No, but the 3, not the number 3.
Yes, level3coaching.org. It's all written out. It's long. I'm going to fix
All good.
Down the road, I'll fix it.
Chris, great having you on here. Thank you for your insight and clarity. And for me, and I'm sure many others, validation. Maybe we've been hearing little things here and there. Wonder if it's really, does it work? Should I be doing this? Fantastic. Yeah.
I'll tell you this much. This is for the rational mind, for everyone that's a doubter. Science tries to pretend that there's no higher force. Meanwhile, they've never disproven it. So science is operating half blind. Look at quantum physics. Disprove anything I've said. And that's the game. If I'm not there, if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Otherwise, I might be right.
And what do you have to lose by writing in a journal?
Exactly. Worst case scenario, I'm totally wrong. You're happier.
You should be practicing gratitude. I've actually changed it. When I return an email, I write thank you. And it's not that I'm just trying to do it. Let me just throw thank you in there because it just sounds good and looks good. There's always something to be thankful for. Think about it the next time you return a business email. You know, there's always a reason to say thank you. And what two wonderful words. Fantastic. Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate it and look forward. Next time we get together, I don't know, maybe next time we can do an example of muscle testing. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll figure something out, Steve. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.